Keys' commitment to strength and conditioning training isn't just a routine, it's a deeply strategic element of her development as a world-class athlete. On the surface, the benefits are clear. Stronger muscles translate into more powerful serves and harder ground strokes. Improved conditioning allows her to move faster, change direction more sharply, and sustain high intensity throughout long matches. But when you dig deeper, each facet of her training weaves into a broader performance tapestry that enhances nearly every dimension of her game. First, let's consider power. Keys has always leveraged a tall frame and aggressive baseline game, but the gym work gives her physical foundation to amplify that innate ability. When her legs and core are robust, she isn't simply swinging harder, she is transferring energy more efficiently from the ground through her hips, torso, arm, and finally into the ball. This means her serve isn't just fast in raw speed, but also more consistent, better placed, and harder to return. Her ground strokes likewise gain from this chain of force. The sharper acceleration through the shot allows the ball to carry more weight, skid through faster, and push opponents deeper. In effect, her conditioning for strength means fewer rallies get away from her because she can hit above the level of many opponents, forcing shorter responses or outright winners. But power alone isn't sufficient. Tennis demands fluid movement, split-second changes of direction, recovery steps, and the ability to move from offense to defense and back. Here again, the conditioning pays off. Stronger musculature in the lower body and hips means quicker starts and stops, better deceleration when required, and safer movement patterns that reduce wasted energy. When Keys races to a wide ball, then swiftly recovers to base and resets, she's not just fast. Her conditioning keeps her fresh to make the next move without fatigue or breakdown in form. That agility and sharpness means she can cover more court, take more time away from her opponents, and force them into delicate positions. Endurance, the third pillar, ties everything together. A player can have explosive power and be incredibly agile, but if that capacity fades as the match progresses, they'll falter under pressure. Keys' conditioning helps ensure that the late sets don't see a drop-off in performance. When matches stretch through long rallies, change surfaces, or require mental resilience, her physical base means she still moves strongly. Her strokes retain crispness, and her recovery between points is decently fast. That stabilizes her baseline game, allows her to maintain aggression, and keeps her from being forced into purely defensive patterns late in matches. But beyond those three core benefits, her training brings additional gains. For example, injury prevention. A robust body that is conditioned to handle explosive demands and sudden directional shifts is less likely to suffer strains or breakdowns. In high-level tennis, being physically available and durable is half the battle. Keys' workouts support her staying healthy and ready on tour. Also, physical conditioning builds confidence. When she steps onto court knowing her body is primed, she doesn't hesitate or second guess. That translates into sharper decision-making, trust in her weapons, and more aggressive mindset. In pressure moments, that confidence allows her to lean into her serve or go big on the forehand rather than retreating. Furthermore, the kind of conditioning Keys does also supports recovery. Efficient muscular systems, better metabolic conditioning, and a resilient cardiovascular base mean she can recover between points, between sets, and between matches more effectively. Over the course of a tournament week, this becomes critical. When she plays day after day, her training helps ensure she arrives at each match with freshness rather than fatigue. And then there is the interplay between physical and technical execution. Every shot in tennis is a coordination of multiple body parts, timed precisely. When her conditioning is strong, Keys' technique doesn't degrade as fatigue sets in. She can maintain posture, racket face control, footwork patterns, and timing late into matches. Without the physical base, technique often collapses when exhaustion creeps in. Her training helps prevent that scenario. A strong body supports a consistent, repeatable technique, which in turn produces more reliable results. In practical match terms, this all means Keys is better able to impose her style of play. She can start aggressively, dictate rallies, and maintain pressure. When she hits serves or ground strokes, she's not merely trying them. She's executing with weight and intent. When she chases down shots, she recovers efficiently and is ready to counter or transition. When a match drags on, she has one more gear than many competitors and fewer physical or mental lapses. Ultimately, her conditioning supports everything from point-to-point performance to tournament week endurance. It's also worth noting that the strategic layering of this training allows her to adapt. For instance, in tournaments or on surfaces where points are longer, she is physically able to sustain longer rallies and still hit big. On quicker surfaces, she can open up fiercely. Against younger, explosive opponents, she has the stamina and strength to counterpunch and then strike back. All this makes her game more versatile and less vulnerable. So when you see Keys execute a massive serve, hammer a forehand winner, or chase down a drop shot and flick it out wide, remember that behind each of those moments lies the physical work, muscle, movement, endurance that makes it possible. It's not simply about being strong, fast, or fit. It's about bringing all those attributes into alignment with tennis-specific demands: the serve, the return, the baseline exchanges, the transitions, the sets, and the week-long grind.